do so. So what we did was we asked the child to file a petition through the jail authorities regarding that physical court. We go to the state government to treat him as state expense. Wherein they had to take him to Goa to a specialized treatment present. So the state government took care of that aspect on account of the initiative of the commission. We used those reports saying that this is what's happened to this man, this is a complaint, and we send that to the National Human Rights Commission. We have no idea what the National Human Rights Commission is like. But this man was treated at the Guwahati Medical College. And I think state expenses, and I think it's all right. Now, again, number 11, we have sent this to the National Human Rights Commission. We are yet to get feedback on it. Number 12, NHRC has registered this. They have sent us by saying that they will go for reports from the concerns office. Number 13, the case has been registered by the National Human Rights Commission. I believe this boy was threatened. So I asked him to withdraw the case. So it's very interesting that he filed a case to us. We referred it to the National Human Rights Commission. That although we have no direct jurisdiction, they would ask these complainants to withdraw those cases from us so that the chain reaction gets stopped at that point. So this is one method which we hear that many of the people are following.
I see. And now, in this case, other cases also?
Some of the cases, I think, they haven't even been well threats. Look for both the Human Rights Commission. They know that we have no jurisdiction, but they also know that we are civics. Now, number 14 again is. Number 14 actually could have been solved had some amount of investigative journalism in that. But around the same time, there are two clashes involving our men and civilian vehicles. This case, again, we got the police to search for this person all around the state. The police gave us a report saying that he is not traceable. The army said that. The army have said that they have not arrested him. But he was not arrested by normal army men in uniform. He was supposed to be picked up by people in mufti in civilian hands, which normally is they go in. There will be some people in mufti, some people will be in uniform. So there's no confusion with the police sometimes. But I think that's what's happening here. Okay, then number
no information here.
No information. NHRC have taken up a case. These numbers here. Then this number 13 again we don't have much information. Now in the case number 16 it's very interesting. It was with brother and sister. One is 11 years old and another one 4 years old. Both of them in the melee in the aftermath of the ransacking by the CRPF jumped down from the balcony and both suffered fracture in the legs. So what we did was the Human Rights Commission first asked the state government to treat those two children as state expenses and to give them a compensation. So they were given 10,000 by the state government. And thereafter we sent the matter. Before we sent the matter to the National Human Rights Commission, what we did was we made sure that the state government, which the state government complied in terms of medical care and in terms of payment of 10,000 rupees each, 20,000 rupees paid to the family. Number 17, we really don't know what follow has been given. We have sent the matter to them. The police FIR report again was not very nice in this matter because the same police were saying sharing the same compound in the police station. same army people. See, it's very peculiar that these army people were housed in the compound of the police station. So when the FIR has to be lodged against the person whom they are sharing with, you can understand the human dimension that we are going to that. But we listen and up to the NSRC. 16 again we have sent this matter to the
18.
18, the National Human Rights Commission. Now 19 again is a case of again the same Chandan Bajaj is involved in this case. What they've said is that we asked the police to trace his whereabouts. Again they've said, denied that he was arrested. Now this is peculiar because there were 3 other people who were arrested on that same night by the army of Islam rifles and handed over to the police. The police have asked, interrogated, questioned them, and according to them, also this man was arrested. So it's quite peculiar. We really don't know. We got the report from the police. The police had gone and inquired from the Islam rifles. Sent us a report back saying that he was never arrested, and they collaborated his story, their point of view by the story of people arrested on the same day.
But he's missing now.
Yeah, he can.
He's missing. Was this referred to the NHRC?
Yeah, I think it was referred to the NHRC. Now the Thompson Mafia, which you are familiar with.
No, we have not watched it. It's too tense now. 2 underground factions are fighting here.
Now what we did with this Thompson Mafia case is, you're familiar with background.
Yes.
There was an ambush, circuit right. Subsequently, the retaliation, many other were killed. So what we did in this case was, we met one of the survivors in this case. We went to the hospital. We met him. We just spoke to him. It was not an inquiry per se, but to get a first information of what this man had to say. We got his story. And subsequently, I think Bablu got an affidavit. That statement he made was turned into an affidavit. We went to the site. We went and had a look at the place of occurrence where the firing took place. Where the first firing took place. We also had a look at the distance between the actual spot of firing and the place where the other firing. It was about a gap of 100 meters. It was not an inquiry on the CRP. It was just a study by the commission on our own. We went, took measuring tapes. We could make out that 2 of them were caught in crossfire, that we could make out. That we could also make out that many of them, they took place at a place of 100 it is away from the site. Matter of fact, I went and found a piece of cloth which part of the ambush cloth was left behind. It was one of the guys. The police had not really gone in even to the site. So they took that material as seized material. Now we noted down what we observed, and we asked the police to treat Babu's t-shirt containing the affidavit by the survivor as an FIR. The police replied saying that subsequent to that, his wife had filed an application which has been taken. So that's again how we proceeded on this matter. The matter has been sent to the National Human Rights Commission. We are yet to get any feedback on that. Then, 23 National Human Rights Commission. Take on a case.
21, 22.
21, 22.
Are they referred to NHRC?
Yeah. 21 again is with the, not with the, it's got the wrong entry here. It's with the India Reserve Battalion, which actually is a state force.
21.
It's the India Reserve Battalion is actually a state force, the state armed force. But they have the jargon of the India Reserve Battalion. It's good. It's like in this case, I mean, it's also the same thing because again, bullets were because again people were killed. The government has said, what we did was, because we lack our own investigative staff, and because we cannot depend directly on the police report on this, we asked the crime branch of the CID to look into this matter. So they have said that firing took place, and it's not sure whether this firing was from UGs or the IRB themselves, but there was an exchange of fire, and there was people who died. So this case is at that level. Just come on, listen.
Crime branches investigate.
Crime branch says
They made a report.
they made a report.
And 22.
This is going to the third one.
And 21.
This case was illegal, so we asked them to come back again with because the kind of information they gave was very, very positive. But they never came back. It was registered with us. But then before we took up the case, we asked them to come back with slightly more detail or put it in a chronological order, which they did not. So the chances are that they will ask not to. So chances are that maybe a compromise might have taken place. We know that in many cases, especially with police, is that the complainant would come and say that we have reached an agreement, a compromise. So that those cases do take place also. But what we do is that those compromise has to be recorded before us.
That compromise not recorded.
This was not recorded for us. Now, it's only for you're familiar with. You had gone for that. The day before yesterday, you had gone to that place. So this is
23.
23 cases been taken out of
NHRC
no information, they just said that the cases been taken.
24. Rape and also. Has this been taken up by NHRC?
We have called for one more report from the police before we have taken up the case. We are following the case myself. As of now, they have been DNA fingerprinted. 6 of them. Then here again we have referred this to the NHRC. 26 is same thing which I just mentioned. The one I mentioned just now, that very recent. So that's its last page 6. In most cases, most cases, for instance, in cases where they make an arrest, and what we do is we depend a lot on newspapers. And I'm glad that we have a very, very energetic press here. So what we do is whenever they report saying that a man arrested by the army, not where it was not known. So what we do is we immediately take up a so motor case, ask the police. So and then the police would say that the boy has been handed back, he's been sent to the jail, he's been released on bail. So it kind of serves as a little bit of pressure, and I wouldn't know what to write to use. So whenever because if the complaint is about habeas corpus, the moment the army hands over the person to the police, it's endless.
the NHRC about the case? Because I noticed many cases the NHRC is almost dragging its feet on it.
We don't, for the very simple reason that we are very old. We don't have staff. We just don't have staff. So what we do is, I've got one department to coordinate the computer. So once that comes in, very, very easy for me to function. So one problem is that we could be much more active. We are human rights literacy awareness promotion programs, because I think that in the view of the environment, we look upon the commission just as only for the court portion. You forget that we have the other very, very important aspect of awareness. I have had requests from CRPF saying that we'll talk on it. Yeah, so basically sensitization. So what we realized also is that we need to sensitize this.
Very important context.
This I realized from a police officer after we had awarded 1 lakh compensation for torture. And he says, look, the first thing that comes to our mind as a policeman is that whenever a person is arrested, we should just get him. Because this is Hanadar's concept over the years. Danda. So, again we want to do this, we want to tell these people that if they are aware, then they become chances, then
And apart from that, the most important psychological factor is that the security forces are trained to kill. If you go, please Assam Rifles compound, and we had the opportunity, rare opportunity, visiting only twice. That was with permission. We just can't venture inside. Now, on the roadside, you see, today's your toil is your blood, even emergency blood. When you will bleed, and it will come to your help. It's all in Hindi mostly. That is meant for Jawans. Obviously, it's not meant for officers. So, the whole training is geared towards killing. You use the maximum firepower, the most devastating force or what we have to neutralize, and seeing the other side as an opponent, as an enemy. So, whole psychology that I think this is something which has been aired in various conferences, seminars, but this has to really go down, especially because in Northeast, apart from the police, army, they play the most important and security was a vital role in so-called dealing with the so-called incident problem. But this aspect has not been properly brought out to their training thing, because basically the police are trained to use this firepower. First you use warning, then lathi charge, then so on and so forth, whatever it is there in the CRPs. But not the same case with this police, paramilitary forces and army. Because they are trained to kill. And because any civilian is enemy. Therefore, I think this is an area which I think needs to be highlighted in a much more effective way. Mr. Labo also had his experience also, but this is something which has to be.
I think this seminar I'm talking about is sponsored by the Ministry of Home Affairs. It's being sponsored by the Ministry of Home Affairs. The special guest of the day is going to be Mr. Pillai, the man who runs this station in the Ministry of Home Affairs. GP Pillai is done. So I was just trying to wondering how they're looking at it. Now they're looking at human rights and development. But let us understand that we're operating in a conflict zone. There's just too many guns around, many groups, many forces. That again, that's one aspect which we cannot deny. This is a conflict zone. It has been a conflict zone for many years now. And it's been continuous conflict zone, and the intensity, I think, is increasing. It was bad in 80s. It was quite bad. And then it has a cycle. The army has been operating in notice since the mid-50s, starting now. They're almost operating in all over notice. The number of groups have increased, I don't know how many times. So there is something much more which we need to look into.
In fact, we took a very fresh lease of life when this Kargil was. I know I'm being very, very selfish in saying that because it was also an unfortunate incident. But then when the army was pulled out of Manipur to go to Kargil, and it was a fresh lease of life in Manipur, you can't imagine. No check-ins because there were no troops to do anything.
When the army was partly
They have yet to
withdrawn
come back.
and they went to Kargil, what was the atmosphere? People were happy. At that
People were
point.
very happy. Yes.
People felt
You could
relieved.
feel the fresh leaves. You could feel
People
the
felt
breeze.
relieved that the army was taken away. They were excited about
That's what I'm saying. We don't want army. We were so happy when Kargil was happening.
Just an intervention, just a practical announcement. We are trying to finish this session as early as possible, but please also realize that this is not a formal occasion where we end one session and start one session. The round table is already on in the sense that anybody who has anything to contribute can please speak out freely. And we have a panel of experts. Chongtham Narendra also teaches law, and we have also heard him speaking in the opening session. He also practices law and has also been doing a lot of public interest litigation, moot court and other activities. We have Ozab Pramod, who also teaches law in the LMS Law College, also doing PhD in the human rights, especially with the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. We have retired Justice Siu Pendra, which we have always been talking in the morning. All his reports were discussed in the morning, and I'm sure this opportunity to meet face to face will also give us a lot of light on what are the things behind that. Since we could not catch hold of many of the reports, there were a lot of gaps in our discussions. I'm sure his presence here will be able to fill it up. Of course, Vijay Lakshmi, people know her more as Kote's wife, but one should also realize that in human rights, she is much elder to Kote in many ways. She was there from PUCLDRs since her 12th class. She said she was there from the very opening of it, and we're fortunate to have her in Manipur. But she has not been able to be very active because of many problems. But I'm sure this kind of initiatives will also bring her into the human rights movement. Koteshwar, perhaps I don't think we don't need further introduction. He is the area organizer of PUCL, People's Union for Civil Liberties, of the Northeast, and he is also one of the lawyers who is fighting many of the cases, including the one that we visited yesterday on Laishram Bijoy Kumar, and many other cases. He's one of the leading lights for the young lawyers to actually pick up human rights cases. Dolen is one of our brightest young lawyers emerging. He was in the wrong side for a while, unfortunately. but he's very fast coming to our track. He's also one of the lawyers. Pauline Gonzalez, of course, unfortunately the whole show has been taken over by Justice Suresh. But if Pauline Gonzalez had come alone, it would have been used by itself. He's also one of the 4 most human rights lawyers in India. By training, he started off as an IIT graduate. He's an engineer, by the way. His office is also in the engineer house in Bombay, in Samachar, road. He has wrote a number of books on public interest litigations, ranging from prisoners' rights to environment, to women issues, and a wide range of his perhaps passion is union workers. That's what brings you to the public interest, isn't it? It's basically labor rights and labor law standards. So he's also at the moment trying to institutionalize human rights law in India at various parts of India, not only in Bombay, but he has also an office in Delhi. And we are looking forward on the possibility of doing some initiative in Manipur as well, together with his network and experience, and also bringing together the experiences that we have here in Manipur. Yamim Lava, of course, is no introduction. Is the father of human rights in Manipur, to put it in one line. And of course, Justice Suresh. Our friend comes from the Center for Social Development. Viren comes from the Center for Social Development, which is an NGO which does developmental works, but also interested in social justice issues. So briefly, that's what we are. The rest are our team from the preparatory committee, and of course the press is also present. So this is a completely informal discussion. I think all of us can speak whatever we want. There's not even a chairperson, it seems. So it's a free flow discussion. Yeah, okay. Khema is a
Leader.
Mayra Baibi leader. The feather in her cap is he have actually saved 2 youth from being killed by the police commando, which is notorious. She actually chased the whole police commando team who was about to extrajudicially execute 2 young boys. Yeah, she has literally driven this policeman out. Otherwise, these 2 young men would have died there and then. So that is her highest point. She also now works with economic development of women, weaving and other things. So whenever there is a public cause, she's always a very familiar face on activism in Manipur. Khema, Khema.
And the press and the public. Often she served as petition writer because many of the people who come cannot even afford to pay 5 rupees to ask somebody to write a petition. So
I think we should discuss what could be our final recommendations for this inquiry. The last 3 days we have been going around talking to people, seeing, we have a lot of evidence now on disappearances, torture, so many things that have come before us. And the very fact that so many cases are there before the Human Rights Commission in such a short period itself is an indication of what's going on here. So, what could be and what should be our recommendation? Because I've been asking one question everywhere, wherever I went. You want RB to continue or you want RB to go? And by and large, everyone has said, we don't want RB to continue. And that seems to be, because there's lurking fear. Somebody said, you said that day, the uneasiness, that you have disturbed the feeling, that when you go out, you don't know what will happen here. So that is all pervading, actually. So I think in the atmosphere of this time, what kind of freedom, what kind of liberty you have. So I think this is one of the things which each one can point out, because we can now, ultimately, this inquiry will come with a report. And that report, I think, will have some value. That report, apart from individual cases, of course, we have some recommendations here and there. But I think generally we give our own findings and certain conclusions on the basis of the discussion, on the basis of the evidence that is before us. So I think each one can give some idea.
But the thing is, Mr. Justice, he didn't give any chance to the opponents. He didn't invite any. This is one of the, I think it violates the national justice. No, the other day I suggested to Mr. Liberty Committee organizers.
Yeah.
Even publications, calling, summoning the persons who volunteer to give evidence. But
I'll tell you my experience in this. By now, I must have conducted about 15 inquiries all over the different places. Almost all the cases where we have given notice to the government and the police, nobody comes and responds. That's a universe, because they don't want to take into account what we are doing. No government has ever taken into account what we have done. They would not do it officially, though they are aware, public are aware, and maybe even the court may be aware to a certain extent. For example, when I brought a report on prawn industry in Madras, that report was submitted to the Supreme Court, and Justice Kuldeep Singh took that report in account. And recently he made another report on Gujarat. There's also a lot of environmental violations due to chemical industry, which has destroyed the whole area. They call it the Golden Corridor, But the golden corridor has become hell day. So we made a report and told the court has taken that into account. So the matter is still pending in the court. Otherwise, by and large, now for example, my another report, that people's verdict which we brought after the Bombay riots, and there what we did, I tell you, because we had specific allegations against who did it. After collecting the evidence, we wrote a letter to the Commissioner of Police, saying, look here, we have collected a lot of evidence, and in particular, we have definite allegations against the following police officers. So, if you want to depute them to us, we are available at this particular place. Please come and depose them for us. Or if you want to have your say in the matter, please do that. Excepting getting an acknowledgement of the letter, we got nothing else. They didn't come at all. Then I tell you, there is another inquiry which we conducted, where a police officer one fine morning, you see what happened was there was a America's, you must have read it, I don't know, it has come this far, but in Bombay it was created a lot of incidents. What happened was, there was America's statue was there, and overnight, is it mostly Dalit colony. One more fine morning when they got up, they see a garland of chapels around it. And with the result, there was a lot of tension. And people came on the road. Firstly, they want to know who has done it. Okay. Then secondly, they said, till that is decided, we will not allow the traffic to go. They blocked the highway. They stood in the middle of the road. And nothing happened at that point of time. Nothing happened at that place where they had blocked. But a police officer who was perhaps instructed by somebody came from the opposite direction in a van, and he got down at a particular point and started indiscriminate killing. He killed 11 persons, including 2 children, and early morning at about 7:30. And then, of course, there was terrible chaos in the whole city. Also things happened. Now, we went there, myself and another judge, we went to the place within 7 days of the incident. It happened on 11th of July. I still remember, I think it was right 1998 or 97, 98. And yes, and 18th of July we were there. Now what happened was, they had, since it had come in the press, and they had given their version, the police commissioner. That version was, at the place where this firing had to take place, there was a fuel tank, a lorry, a truck with the petrol, and perhaps these people would have set fire to that, and in that there would have been a lot of problems. Therefore, we had no choice but to shoot. And they had published a photograph showing tires something burning nearby, and with the vehicle standing on the road. So what we did, we cut that and went to the site, because the background material shows where the truck could have been situated. So with that we went and we tried to find out, and we found it could never have been different. Background is totally different. And we found out that was at a place about a mile away or more than that, which incident took place much afterwards, because the other incident all was a consequence of the first incident. So we asked all the people there where this was. Could anyone say and so on? Okay, we got that material. And that was their version. So now again we wrote to the commissioner. Here, this is what we want to know. Will you please come and depose before us? No, you have not come. Nobody will come. In Bangalore, I conducted an inquiry on the Kaveri riots. Again, the same thing. We wrote a letter. They don't come at all. But how do we still, by report, a people's verdict which we brought in Bombay within 6 months of the incident, and Justice Sri Krishna holding an inquiry, official inquiry, after giving notice, hearing the police, administration, everyone. After 6 years, the conclusions are the same, because by and large, the facts are the same. So, now what we generally do is, we take into account the opposite version which has come in the press. Because not that, suppose the version is now, for example, the other day we went to that village where that Mercy was raped. We went there. Now, the version of the defense is what? We deny this incident, first. And secondly, the DNA test. We are ready for a DNA test. Beyond that, there is nothing else. Now, okay, perhaps if we give a summons to them, they will come and say the same thing. We deny this. And firstly, they don't recognize us. they are not bound to come before us. And secondly, they totally deny. Now we have this version which has come in the press, that statement has come in the press. We take that into account, not that. So therefore, when you talk of denial of principle of natural justice, it doesn't necessarily mean the other side should be heard. What it means is the case of the other side should be kept in mind. The other side's case is that they deny this whole incident. The question is, why should the people there, that old man who spoke so, from his heart, why should he tell a lie? Why should a girl who was raped should tell a lie? What's the connection between, was there enmity, was there anything against the police, or against the, or were they active politically so that implicate the army? Nothing of the kind. And it could, having got all the surroundings, it must have happened. Because otherwise the lady would not come and say that. That's that word. Therefore, this allegation of course is always there. Suppose you bring a report, the first thing they will say, okay, we have not been heard, but would they have come? And the answer is no. Therefore, we don't have to bother about that much. Because by and large, we deal with that situation. In our report, we don't say only one side. We also say the paper reports and whatever material we have. For example, the police version. Some are in the police statement. We have got some of those records with us. So on the basis of that, we do say that. It's not an inquiry in the sense that you have conducted official. Official I could have summoned. But today I cannot summon. If I summon, they don't come. We tried to do that in Punjab. What happened was, so there it went on, I conducted inquiry on disappearances in Punjab. Myself and two other journalists. Now what happened was, there was a report of the National Human Rights Commission on that point. Some order was there. Then also there was a local inquiry. And the third thing was, there were some cases which had gone to the court, and the court had just dismissed them. The question arose, volume of evidence say that those cases are true, and the court has dismissed. So to what extent we could have gone? So we got an idea. Actually, I would say it was Justice Kuldeep Singh was the one who was retired, and he was one of the judges who was there. And he told us, we will issue notice to all the police officers in the form of a summons and call them. I think the form was also not very correct. Okay, we allowed it. And the result was, of course, there's a wrong thing what happened there. Somebody went to the High Court and filed a writ petition, one BJP man filed a writ petition saying these are busybodies, these have no business to come and do all those things. And unfortunately, the courts stayed our inquiry. This is a very unfortunate thing. Of course, the matter has gone to Supreme Court, but nothing has happened. Now, what I'm trying to say is, we don't have to hesitate on that. By and large, we know the statement of the military from time to time where it has all appeared all over. And by and large, what is going on is a matter which is known to all the people. So we will go from that point of view. All human rights groups have to function only that way. It's not that official bodies perhaps may have. Even official body, what happened? In the case of here, your local, they don't respond, they won't come. Even National Human Rights Commission, what does stand? They just deny. It's only, there also the inquiry is not like a regular trial. It's on the basis of the statement that comes. That's how National Human Rights Commission conducts an inquiry. I think that we don't have to worry.
On their ground, they will not come before they